Hi, Leanne Donahue-Tamplin here. Today I wanted to talk to you about how you're not actually at the worst case scenario yet. As we go through this talk today, you'll work out you'll see why I can assure you of that. It always could be worse. There is always the possibility of things being worse. I was hit by a car 4.5 years ago. I was pedestrian hit by a car, and it was terrible at the time. My leg was crushed. I've got a permanent injury from that. But I know I know at the time I had to make that choice to see myself as lucky. Lucky that it wasn't worse. Lucky that other things could have happened. Lucky that my kids weren't with me when it happened. So, and there was a lot of things about it that were terrible, but I kept saying to myself that I was grateful, that I still have my leg, or, that I was able to walk. There's a lot of things that we can be grateful for. And it doesn't matter how bad that situation is that happens to you. There are always people who have it worse. I know that from the work I do with people. Life can really throw curveballs. And it is simply about being able to say, it could have been worse. The thing that a lot of us do when we're in those places is we start fortune telling. We start thinking about, how this is going to be in the future. I won't be able to do this, which means I won't be able to do that. And then I can't do this and I'll never have this. And that's really guessing. You're not doing anything but guessing. You don't know that for sure. We do a lot of things like, oh, what if I hadn't done this? So you're kind of then looking back at the past, and if I'd done that, if I'd done this differently, and really putting a lot of pressure on yourself and getting yourself very worked up. Again, there's no point in doing that. You can't change what's always happened. And the other thing I think a lot of us do when yuck things happen in our lives is that we wonder why it's always me. Why do these horrible things always happen to me? And it can feel like you've got a bit of a target on your back. And again, that's not the case. I know for certain with everyone I've seen in my practice that these things are quite random. You have no real way, most of the time, of predicting that any of these bad things are going to happen. But all of that self-talk around, feeling like you've got a target on your back, now looking into the future about now I won't be able to do this, that, and the other thing. What if I had made different choices, things would be differently. None of that helps you. All that does is cause you distress. So you have to notice when that's happening and switch that off somehow. So, it doesn't mean it doesn't keep happening. It pops into your head. You notice it's happening and you make yourself stop it. That might be that you distract yourself. It might be that you're able to hear it and change it into something else. Whatever you've got to do to try and switch off those thoughts is the best way to handle them. And then you start reassuring yourself that you're not in the worst case scenario yet. If things go worse, if worse things happen, if I've got to deal with these other things in the future, I'll deal with them when they happen. I don't need to spend my time now worrying about what potentially could happen in the future, or beating myself up about what's happened in the past. What you need to focus on is what's happening right now. Just focus on the here and now and recognize what you do have, what things you do have that are really good, that give you hope, that make you feel a little bit more positive about your life. And sometimes, it's almost like clutching at straws. Sometimes those things are hard to see, but find them. Focus on them. Gee, I'm lucky, right? Gee, I'm lucky that I didn't have this happen. I'm lucky that I do have these things at the moment. And if that worst case scenario happens in the future, I will deal with it then. All right, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you again soon.